CTV is a really good example. It's just like, I think 70% of the total CTV viewers in the States, I think they're growing year over year. And so that's why we found Vibe. We got connected.
Ali Yang, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate your time. We're going to discuss Airdog USA, an air filtration system that has been advertising with Vibe for a short amount of time. But we're going to talk a little bit about why CTV, why Vibe, what your experience has been like on the platform, and what your results have been. So first, if you could just introduce yourself and sort of the business challenges that prompted y'all to start exploring other alternative channels like CTV.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me, Kathleen. I was always being the paid meeting area. And Join AirDog is really trying to help them, explore different like ads platform and to making sure we have, maximum reach at the same time to scale the business at the same time. And, in terms of AirDog is the first air purification company to use a pattern growing technology called TPA. It's really unique. The goal we are trying to achieve is really to help our customer to breathe cleaner air. And they have been looking for and also say goodbye to those, air filter subscription, which is really tedious and costly for a lot of people. So with that said, the technology is new. So this is literally our challenge because this domain is really HEPA dominated. So a lot of people don't know there's a better air purifier solution out there. So we need to push from paid media perspective, we need to push a lot on, brand awareness campaign, upper funnels, try to find a really good portfolio, like paid media portfolio as well to balance the ROI at the same time. And CTV is a really good example. Just from the data I've been watching, it's just like I think 70% of the total CTV viewers in the States, I think they're growing year over year. And so that's why we found Vibe. We got connected.
That's awesome to hear. So we run into this a lot where folks will have an innovative product or a type of service that needs to be explained to folks or is like a disruptor, and they have a hard time communicating that in these short formats on social or Google search, and that's where CTV can really shine. So that's really interesting to hear. So did I understand correctly that basically your main KPIs were reach and kind of upper funnel awareness? Is that right?
Yeah, so we try to use CTV as really important, a critical part of the buyer's journey,
Mhm.
and to make sure give a funnel boost to the customer that really, before they make decision.
Interesting. Funnel boost. I like that. I like that term. So can you tell me a little bit, you talked about retargeting. Can you tell me more generally about your experience using the Vibe platform? What did you find interesting, easy to use, confusing, great? Anything, any feedback you have on your experience actually on the platform, building your campaign, building your measurement dashboard? What was that like?
Long story short, it has been great because I think this is probably the most modern platform I have used for in terms of CTV. And it's super easy to use. And I thought I'm gonna put like a few weeks to get used to it, but it was really straightforward. And everything is just a few clicks. And also the team has been really helpful as well. And I was working with Megan as well as Quinn, and they provide really great support in terms like setting up the platform, in terms of Q&A, and also later on we have a lot of discussion with Quinn for like creative practices. It's really great to see you guys have really straightforward reporting and we're sort of networking, we're seeing conversions, right? And those important data really help us to make better decision moving forward.
That's great to hear. So are you running retargeting and awareness campaign concurrently, or are you doing one and then the other? How does that work for you guys?
Yeah, we started retargeting. because we introduced the platform and really late Q4. We were a little really busy during that time. Q4 is the most busy for e-commerce,
Yeah.
so we didn't have a lot of bandwidth internally. So we were trying to see what would be the easiest, more efficient like area we can tap into it right now to help us to give like the final boost, right? We already have some really great product demonstration videos, so we try to quickly came out really good sort of benefit product-driven videos and to push on web to retargeting people that already knows a lot of brand, but don't really necessarily know how does it work and why I need to buy this.
Yeah.
And so that's why we launched a website like retargeting campaign, and we saw really good results. So especially the conversion rates, year over year, we see around 53% increase, which is
Wow.
yeah.
That's great. So do I understand correctly that the idea is kind of to start with a warm list of folks, retargeting, and then based off of those results, creating a lookalike audience for incremental reach and awareness? Is that the plan?
Yeah, it is. It's better to start with people already familiar with and to see what sort of I would say like viewing habits they have, like especially in terms like different channels. And so from there we can do more tailored targeting for later on if we want to do some prospective campaign, right?
That's great to hear. You can actually see what channels are they watching, what time of day are they watching, who's actually converting the most, and then tailor your campaign. You mentioned creative best practices. That is always something I'm super curious to hear about because, again, CTV is still a relatively new medium, and so folks aren't always sure how to approach it creatively. What was it like for you, and did you notice anything that worked particularly well or needed to change?
There's a huge difference between you want to prospect and the retargeting, right? For example, and also the intent of it. Because what do you want your audience to basically to take action for what, right? And also the audiences itself, right? So for us, we are really clear because we are trying to do a website retargeting campaign. So we know the audience saw us somewhere. I don't know, Google or Meta, some platform. So we know, hey, this is time to tell a good story and to be more relatable and to give them, the authority they needed, the social proof they needed. And so they know, oh, okay, I'm making a good decision, good investment right now for myself. We always talked with the Queen during that time, and he has been really helpful and especially telling us to make sure you have your, for example, URL throughout the videos and making sure you have clear positioning of your QR code, all of that. And I think that overall experience, those details helped us to achieve those great results.
Yeah, even when you're kind of remaining at an awareness upper funnel level, it's still a performance focused campaign. And so things like having your URL on screen the whole time, making sure your QR code is on screen the whole time, making sure those CTAs are singular and super clear. People just want to be told what we want them to do. That's great to hear that it was simple. Just going back to your results. So obviously, reach is super important, and I'm really glad to see that you were able to do retargeting and then expand from there. But then for conversions, you must have installed a pixel or two or three. Can you tell me a little bit about that process?
We're using Shopify, so we connected directly using an app. It was just a few clicks and is the boom, and we saw data the next day and or maybe a few hours. I cannot remember exactly, but it was really fast. And then from there, and we saw the report as long we launched the campaign, and the data we have been really looking forward. It's a lot about revenue because e-commerce is really about that, and also ROAS itself.
Mhm.
And we're also curious to see, how many purchases we have, the AOV, we want to see that as well, and want to see the view through rates as well to see how engaging our, creatives are. And sometimes CPM is varies a lot. But like I said, because we are running so many different platforms, sometimes different platform has a different way of tracking things. They have different
Oh,
attributions.
yeah.
As a marketer these days is really hard to say, okay, if I run a campaign, is really working, or like how can I trust how reliable this data is telling me? So that's why we do a lot of testing control. What we say is like to make sure there's no big major, like say 2 3 5 going on at the same time. So that's why we can see really clear results at that time, because we only open wipe during that last Q4, and we can see in immediate boost, and we can see this is for sure brain that will bought from web.
Mhm.
Uh, so for the ROAS, we see around like 450% during that massive area. So which is great to see for retargeting. And revenue-wise, we see a 10K increase. We didn't run like aggressive budget also, because at that time we were just trying to test to see how our audience will react to a new platform like this. But it gave us like confidence to know, oh, okay, like we should keep digging to this platform if I have more creative bandwidth.
Mhm. That is fantastic to hear. I know that Shopify integration, which we launched relatively recently, I would say Q4 last year, has yielded incredible results. And I think it just makes a lot of sense for e-commerce folks to be able to stay in the same platform, keep those same segments, those same dashboards, and still get their CTV results straight in there. So you're reading Vibe results on your Shopify dashboard?
But overall, Shopify is, I would say, the Bible of it. So I would see a lot of them balance and use, Shopify as the Northern Star.
Okay, got it. Well, this is all really helpful information. So, why you came to CTV, which was really to bring awareness to a very disruptive, innovative product, what your experience was like, retargeting, and then growing from there, the results with the ROAS and the revenue. I'm curious, before I let you go, what's next for AirDog and Vibe?
Yeah, I mean, right now we are trying to consolidating our creative force. Because this is really basic the key of running ads these days. Start testing some upper funnel campaigns, because we have a few promotion coming in terms like Mother's Day or Father's Day. As we go back to school, this is like all the big major promotion for e-commerce, and we try to create like creative that can represent those things as small, resonating with our customers. So yeah, from there, we'll love to try to test and use the data already gathered, which is really helpful, because those data really came from those retargeting campaign, already give us sort of the first layer of filtering to know, oh, what sort of time we can target, what sort of channel we can target. And then from there we can better, navigate our prospecting campaign.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, that all sounds super exciting. Thank you so much for joining me today and telling us a little bit more about your campaign.